I went onto the very, very reliable information source known as the Google and tried to look up the statistic for the main causes of divorce. What I found was that financial problems generally make the list, and in a lot of different circumstances were in somewhere around the top 5. Naturally, I thought it would be worthwhile to make a video talking about the topic of finances and relationships. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Reese, and in today's video, I am going to be talking about the 3 main mindsets that people in relationships adopt when it comes to their finances and money in general. And I'm going to talk about how they range from very bad all the way up to very good. Relationships aren't easy. Everyone has their own issues to deal with on a day-to-day basis. They've got their own demons and it's tough. Everyone is different, yes, but everyone generally will have something going on in their lives at any given moment. Now, in a traditional 2-person relationship, generally speaking, you are going to, over time, adopt your partner's issues too, because their problems are going to become your problems and vice versa, which can create an environment which puts a lot of stress on you as an individual and potentially your partner as well. And these issues can often be complicated and difficult to resolve because generally they don't just have a simple solution that can be implemented like that. Then to build on the anxiety that I might be instilling into your brain right now, let's throw on top all of the responsibilities of being an adult, especially as you get older and your life progresses. I'm talking about things like maybe working a full-time job, maybe raising kids, maybe having to pay bills, adding new expenses to your day-to-day lives through the format of maybe pets and expensive subscriptions, maybe paying for schooling for your children, whatever it may be. There are many additional things that can add to those stress levels, and you don't want money to be one of them if you can avoid it. So with this in mind, I wanted to talk about the 3 types of relationships in regard to how people manage their finances and money that I've personally seen, and I've read quite a bit about it online as well. It's pretty common. As someone who trawls through Reddit left, right, and center, this comes up more than you might think about people in relationships not really knowing how to tackle it, or they might have issues with their partners. I want to go through these 3 different scenarios in particular, and it might provide some insight to you, the viewer, as to where you might fit in the mix of this relationship, which hopefully, depending on the scenario you're in, will either make you reaffirmed and be like, okay, great, I'm really happy with how I manage my finances with my partner, or it might make you think and go, maybe there's more that we could be doing in this category, which would definitely reduce some stress, take some load off of the stress off of our minds in regard to finance, essentially. So to begin, the first thing to understand is that there are 2 types of people in regard to this overarching topic. There are spenders and there are savers. So relationship type number 1 is where one member of the couple, we'll call them a saver, is both financially literate and financially responsible with their money. And the other person in the couple is a little bit more carefree and a little bit more relaxed with how they manage and spend their money. We're going to call them a spender. This is the type of relationship that has the potential to be doomed from the start. Their finances will be under constant attack, which will increase tension in the relationship, and overall it will affect the relationship long term. If you, the person watching this video right now, are someone who understands the value of money, I'm sure within your lifetime you have come across someone who definitely does not understand the value of money. And I have to wonder what type of thoughts went through your head when you saw them do something that might be deemed maybe financially reckless. Were you the type of person to judge during that scenario? Just as one very simple example, I know people that have taken every dollar from their paycheck and gone out into the big bad world and spent it, and then come to me and complained that they don't have enough money to pay their rent or their bills in full, which can introduce further problems down the line. Personally, if I was dating someone like this, it would scare the hell out of me, because I would realize very quickly that I would be used as a support mechanism to fund their lifestyles and make sure that they stay afloat. And if I was dating someone who didn't know how to prioritize their money, manage their money, budget, or weren't willing to learn, I know that it would eventually get to me and that relationship would most likely end. Like I said at the start of this video, I often troll through Reddit and see lots of questions being asked by the financially responsible person in the relationship as to whether or not their partner are showing signs of red flags. Should they be concerned about the types of habits that they've implemented in their life? And the answer is the same 99% of the time. Simply put, 99% of the time, the people commenting on these posts are able to explain in a simple way that the person who is being reckless is going to cause a rift in the relationship because they're not willing to take responsibility for the couple's finances. And overarchingly, they say that the relationship is probably going to end at some point in the future. Whether or not they're right or wrong, I don't know. I have my own opinion. I'll leave it out of the video because I'm simply talking about the types of relationships that exist in regard to money and finance in this video. And honestly, in my own experience, the only times that I've seen these types of relationships last long term is when the spender takes the initiative to start learning and do better to eventually become a saver, where then the two partners build a better future for themselves. I'll talk a bit more about where both are savers in a moment. The point that I want to make is that it requires structure. That is the most important word in this scenario. Structure brings freedom, which brings me to relationship type number 2, where freedom is definitely a prominent word in this scenario, where both members of the couple are spenders. These are the types of people who will eat out often without worrying too much about the bill. They'll book holidays and put every spare dollar they've got to go towards them to maximize the experience. And generally speaking, both of these types of people will be impulse buyers. This type of financial dysfunction in a relationship is not healthy purely from a financial perspective. However, I would say that both members of this relationship would be overall happy with their lifestyles. The financial component of this shouldn't affect the relationship too much. It will, however, most likely limit their ability to achieve certain long-term goals, which take years of preparation to put in place. The simplest example being buying a forever home, but to some people, this just isn't all that important, and that's absolutely okay. There's no right or wrong when it comes to spending the money that you earn, as long as both members of the relationship are on the same page with how they manage their finances. Overall, the financial component shouldn't affect the relationship all that much. Which leads me into my final relationship type, being both members are savers. And this, in every aspect from a financial point of view, will see the relationship being quite healthy, specifically when it comes to finance. There might be other issues. I'm talking just to do with money. A couple, in my opinion, who understands the value of money is unstoppable. Have you noticed throughout this video that I haven't mentioned that each person needs to earn a certain amount of money to introduce happiness into someone's life? It's because it doesn't actually matter. I could be earning $1 million a year and my partner could be earning $50,000 a year. It does not matter in the scheme of things. The point overall is understanding the goals that we have set from a financial perspective align. We want the same things, we're going to work towards achieving the same things, and we both respect each other's contributions towards those goals. The fact of the matter is that we will never be at war with each other because we will be on the same page about what we're willing to sacrifice to achieve those goals. And that disparity scenario that I've just given of me earning $1 million and my partner earning $50,000 just isn't likely to occur. Realistically, I do earn more than my partner, but it's just not important. We work as a team when it comes to our finances. We set our goals accordingly, and the outcome so far has been pretty good. Increasing wealth means increasing choice, and shared values contribute to shared goals, which ultimately brings a couple closer together as time passes. It also makes the goals they set out to achieve much more impactful because there is no better feeling than the reward of seeing the payoff from hard work. When you save for a house with your partner and you do it together, that payoff is you've purchased that place together. Same with purchasing nice things, going on holidays. All of those experiences when worked towards with a partner are much more satisfying than, for example, me putting every single dollar towards a purchase like a house or a holiday and me kind of being like, well, I'm just paying your way. That kind of is a bit shitty. This overall scenario that I'm trying to put into play here is that it's all about that scenario being in the same mindset as each other. It doesn't necessarily matter, getting tongue twisted here, matter on the values that are going into those savings accounts, into the bills accounts, whatever it may be on the same page. I think it's so important to talk to your partner about finances regularly. If you, like I said, are on that same page, you've set those goals together, you're not going to introduce unexpected occurrences throughout your day-to-day lives because everything is out in the open. You understand what you're working towards, what you're sacrificing, and how you're going to get there. And there's a lot of power in that, I think. To summarize today's video, try and get on board with your partner if you're not already. Those types of relationships do really well where you are in the same boat in terms of the spender versus saver scenario. Two savers are always going to be better than the other two scenarios. Something that will definitely strengthen your relationship is to be on the same page, set goals together, set budgets together, and stick to them. It becomes a way of life, and in a good way, because you're not having to worry about money realistically as your relationship goes on. The other two types of relationships I talked about today can introduce challenges that come with people being a bit reckless or not actually having a plan over time that you're going to try and execute. This can ultimately see the relationship ending, which is a sad outcome, but one that is very, very common. You probably won't have to do too much digging online to find some horror stories. I guess to end this video, it is something to think about whether you are single or in a relationship. If you're single, you might find a partner eventually and need to go into this planning phase, have these conversations, and work through the tough parts depending on the type of person that you're going to be dating. You might be in a relationship and you might both be savers. So this is reassurance you're doing a good thing. Keep going. It probably will work out long term for you in terms of the financial components. And if you're both spenders or you've got a spender, you're the spender or you're the saver, it doesn't really matter in the relationship. Just maybe start talking about it, because you will either realize something and something will come from that, or your partner or yourself will make changes, and the bonus is you both becoming savers and working towards those goals into the future. With that being said, I got nothing else to talk about today, so I'm going to leave you there. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really does help the channel grow. I really do appreciate the support, and that's it. Have a good day, have a good week, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.